For over a decade, Bleach was the big three failure that left us with a rushed, hollow ending that felt more like a mercy killing than a grand finale, but Tite Kubo and Studio Pierrot just did the impossible. They didn't just animate a dead manga, they resurrected it, improved it, and turned a controversial conclusion into a modern cinematic masterpiece. Is this the greatest comeback in anime history? The Soul Society is facing its literal extinction event. The Quincy, an ancient race of soul-erasing humans thought to be extinct, have returned from the shadows to reclaim the world. Led by the terrifying Yhwach, they don't just want to fight. They want total annihilation of the Ichigo Kurosaki is caught in the middle, forced to unlock the true origins of his powers to stop a godlike threat. The stakes have never been higher. This isn't just a battle for the living world, but for the cycle of souls itself. The Gotei 13 find themselves outclassed, their Bankai stolen, and their home turned into a literal graveyard. Ichigo must journey to the heart of the Soul King's palace to discover who he really is before there is nothing left to save. It is a high-stakes race against an unstoppable clock. Let's be real, the original manga ending was a mess of rushed plot points and abandoned characters. But the Calamity changes everything. Studio Pierrot isn't just following the script, they're actively collaborating with Kubo to fix the narrative gaps. We're getting entirely new Bankai reveals and extended fight sequences that were barely a few panels in the source material. It feels like a director's cut on steroids. The production value here is astronomical. The color palette shifted from the old school saturation to a dark, cinematic, heavy metal aesthetic that fits the high stakes. Every clash feels heavy. And the soundtrack reimagined by Shiro Sagisu brings back that iconic #1 energy while adding operatic dread that underscores the Quincy's overwhelming power. This is what peak shonen looks like in 2026. Critically, the pacing is breakneck. While the addition of new content is a godsend, the show rarely stops to let you breathe. It's an endless parade of holy crap moments that keeps the adrenaline spiked. Some fans might miss the slower, character-driven moments of the early Arranker days, but for a war arc, this relentless momentum actually works. It emphasizes that for the Soul Society, time has completely run out. The animation choreography in this final stretch is a love letter to the fans. Studio Pierrot has moved away from the static shots of the past, delivering fluid high-octane sequences that make every soul-reaping slash feel visceral. The way they integrated Kubo's poetic style into the visual effects, especially the Quincy Shrift abilities, is nothing short of visionary. It's the visual upgrade we've waited 15 years for. The community is losing its mind over the Kubo original scenes. The biggest pro is easily the expanded lore and the fight choreographies that fills in the blanks left by the manga's original run. Fans on Reddit and any Twitter are calling this the gold standard for how to handle a revival. It's rare for an anime to actually be better than its source material, but Bleach has managed to pull it off flawlessly. The biggest con for some hardcore purists is the speed of the adaptation. Because it's so condensed, some of the emotional weight of secondary character deaths can feel a bit glossed over in favor of the next massive animation flex. If you haven't watched Bleach in years, the sheer amount of new lore and names being thrown at you might require a wiki deep dive just to keep your head above water during the chaos. The Calamity is the closure fans have deserved for nearly 15 years. It's a stunning visual spectacle that honors its roots while fearlessly correcting its past mistakes. This isn't just a casual binge. It's an essential event for anyone who has ever called themselves a shonen fan. Bleach didn't just return. It conquered the throne and proved that some legends just need a second chance to shine. This revival sets a new precedent for how studios should handle rushed manga endings. It is beautiful, brutal, and deeply satisfying for both veterans and newcomers alike. If you want to see an icon perfected, this is it. Final score, 9.510.
I rise from the broken skyline.